Here's another question from a subscriber. Can you tell me about your time as John the Beloved and his time with his brother James the Greater? And what happened to James? Well, the interesting thing is I don't have a lot of memories of James. People ask me about James often. I don't have a lot of memories of James. The only memories I really have is the times when he and I would go ahead of the group to secure lodgings and benefactors and people to listen to the message of Jeshua. And so we would be like an advanced team going to set things up. And he and I would go together. And when I think of James, I think of him as, a brother who jibes and poking each other. And, I think of it that way. I think of it very fondly. But I don't have any real memories of James. And you know what? It's funny. I haven't even done the biblical research on what happened to him. So I don't have a lot of information to share. And I find it interesting that I don't have a lot of information to share, because when I was on the beach in that regression, the only person I remember seeing there was my father, Zebedee. And he was old and leaning on a staff because his back was so bad from all the years of pulling nets. And he couldn't do the work anymore, and I could. So I was doing all the work. And James wasn't even in that vision. And when I moved forward in my life, after that moment and all the other regressive moments that I had, they were always focused on Jeshua and what he was doing. In John's life, Jeshua was everything. I mean, John never took a wife, never had children, because Jeshua was everything. And in Jeshua being everything, it wasn't that he was depriving himself for that. It was that Jeshua showed him the complete oneness of God in one instant. He showed him everything. And in seeing everything at once and then having that taken away, detaching from that, the rest of John's life was all about getting back to that oneness with everything. And so wives and children no longer were important. And so John never took a wife and John never had children because it was not in John's work. Because after that point, John went on to travel and teach and speak at the various quote unquote churches, more like camps of believers. And that was John's life from that point on. He never went that way. And in my memory of all those other moments is I believe John was doing the same thing somewhere else in the world. And the reason I say that is because, when you think of the apostles, you really need to think of them as bishops. Like a bishop in the Catholic Church is in charge of a certain area. And we were kind of tasked with certain areas. And one of the areas that I was tasked with was, Turkey, the area of Turkey, and so Ephesus and all that area. So John was very busy doing that work. And I'm sure James was doing the same as well. But I need to do the research on James and specifically what happened to him. But I at this point had not found the need because I'm still so focused on Jeshua and the teachings. And so at some point I'll do that dive into the history of that. But I just don't have that information for you now. Sorry. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.